My thumb hovered over the post button like it was a detonator. My hand was shaking so hard I could barely keep the phone steady. Outside the locked bedroom door, Ethan was banging like a psycho, yelling my name, swearing, begging, who knows. I just stared at the post I'd written, tagging him, tagging my sister, tagging my mom, my dad, my in-laws, their stupid pastor, and wondered how many lives I'd destroy with one click. Freeze frame, narration. To understand how I ended up nooking my entire family on Facebook. We have to go back 2 years. Back when I still thought Aubrey was my soulmate and Ethan was my forever. Growing up, Aubrey and I weren't just sisters. We were that annoying Disney Channel duo people assumed would never fight. She was 2 years younger, blonde, bubbly, soft-spoken, and I was the older, sarcastic one with a tendency to over everything. Our parents used to joke that we were twin souls born in different years. She was my person, my built-in best friend. And if you had told me back then that one day I'd catch her butt naked in my marital bed with my husband, I would have laughed in your face and probably Venmo'd you for therapy because clearly you needed it more than I did. Point being, she was the last person on earth I thought would betray me. That's important for later, because betrayal only hurts when it's from someone you loved. But for now, things were perfect. Ethan and I had just hit our second wedding anniversary. Picture Pinterest level cheesy romance, Sunday coffee runs, slow dancing in the kitchen, shared podcasts on long drives. He was the guy people called solid. The one who'd help neighbors move furniture and donate blood even though he fainted. Afterward, the husband who would never cheat. At least, that's what everyone said. It started subtle. Aubrey went through a breakup, and like any good sister, I let her crash at our place for a weekend. A weekend became a few days. A few days became, I can't do the rent alone right now. And somehow, without anyone formally approving it, she just stayed. Ethan didn't complain. In fact, he practically rolled out the red carpet. I'm happy she feels safe here, he said. Cute, right? Week 1, Aubrey and I had sister nights. Wine, junk food, trash TV, girl talk. Week 2, Aubrey and Ethan started bonding over gaming in the living room. Week 3, Aubrey was suddenly joining Ethan on grocery runs to help. Week 4, Ethan was fixing Aubrey's shelves at her apartment she supposedly left. I didn't clock it then, because why would I? You don't expect betrayal from your inner circle. That's what makes it so brutal. People loved Aubrey. Teachers, neighbors, baristas. She had that people-pleasing gene, the kind of girl who remembers birthdays, sends holiday cards, and compliments strangers' shoes. Meanwhile, I was the one with the sharp tongue and resting bitch face. It didn't bother me. We balanced each other out. Even Ethan would joke, "You two are like sunshine and a thunderstorm." Back then I thought it was cute. If a man ever calls you a thunderstorm, pay attention. It means he's already positioning another woman as the sunshine. When you're happily married, you don't notice the shift until it's already happened. Suddenly it wasn't me and Ethan with Aubrey around. It was Ethan and Aubrey with me around. Dinners became inside jokes between them. Shows we were watching became our show, meaning Ethan started asking Aubrey for opinions before asking me. But again I brushed it off. Because who thinks their sister is flirting with their husband? That's not a normal thought. Then came the sleepovers. Aubrey would fall asleep on the couch after movie night. I'd wake up for water at 3 a.m. and see Ethan putting a blanket on her. "Don't wake her," he whispered once, like I was interrupting a sacred moment. My stomach flicked, not suspicion, just discomfort. Like a glitch in the matrix you're not ready to face. The moment I should have known something was off happened at a family BBQ sunset. Burgers, bad music, the whole suburban vibe. Aubrey was laughing at something Ethan said. Not unusual. But then she looked at him. Not sister-in-law friendly, not cute. It was a look that lingered a beat too long. And Ethan looked back. 1 second too long. That 1 second changed everything. I just didn't know it yet. Why didn't I confront them right then? Because the most dangerous betrayals don't show their teeth all at once. They drip, slowly, quietly, like poison. And what came next would make me question my sanity, my marriage, and my own damn sister. Because before I caught them in my bed, they made me believe I was the crazy one. It didn't happen overnight. It was slow, creeping. You know how a bad smell spreads through a house. You don't notice the first molecule. You'll notice when it's too late. At first, Ethan just got quieter. Not angry, not distant, quieter in that measured, passive-aggressive way dudes use when they're trying to force you to ask, what's wrong? Then came the nudges. Maybe don't fold the laundry like that. Aubrey does hers vertical save space. Or the killer one. Why do you get stressed so easily? Aubrey's super chill about things. In any normal world, a husband comparing his wife to her sister would set off sirens, but in our world, the one built on trust, it just felt annoying. Like a mosquito bite you ignore until it became a pattern. Chill, relaxed, easygoing. He kept praising those traits in Aubrey traits he never valued in me. And then came the day he said it outright. Sometimes I wish you could be a little more laid back, like Aubrey. Boom. A tiny, deceptively harmless sentence that stuck in my brain like a shard of glass. Once Ethan opened the comparison door, Aubrey didn't just walk through it, she redecorated the damn hallway. Any time I questioned something, Aubrey would giggle and go, "Oh my God, don't be paranoid." Or, "You're overthinking again. You always do that. Always, always, always." That word is a loaded gun in a marriage. Suddenly every emotion I had, irritation, suspicion, confusion, became proof that I was dramatic. Meanwhile, Aubrey played the role of the supportive little sister who just wants everyone happy. It was honestly diabolical. Playing an RPG on easy mode while I was stuck on nightmare difficulty. Suspicion is emotional, evidence is logistical, and once evidence enters the chat, it's game over. The first piece was stupid. Ethan's phone location. We shared it for safety mutual agreement. Never an issue. Then one day, it just turned off. The battery died. He said, "Okay, happens." But then it happened again, and again. And then only on days Aubrey was staying late at work. Quinn said, "Sure, if you're an idiot," which unfortunately I was at that time. Evidence piece number 2, laundry. Aubrey came home from a yoga class with a Victoria's Secret bag. No boyfriends, no dates, no single girl glow, just a bag. New lingerie. And it sure as hell wasn't from meditation. Evidence piece number 3, stories not lining up. Aubrey would say she was out with friends from work. Later, Ethan would mention how he and Aubrey got smoothie bowls together that same afternoon. Time, harmless. Except lies only exist to cover truths. Eventually, I tried to bring up the pattern. Calmly, conversationally, the way you're supposed to communicate in healthy marriages. "Do you think it's weird how much time you and Aubrey are spending together?" Cue the reaction circus. Ethan's eyebrows shot up like I'd accused him of murder. "You're insane," he said. "She's your sister. She's been going through a lot. Why are you making it weird?" Gaslighting 101. Reframe suspicion as cruelty. Then Aubrey jumped in gently, sweetly, like she was the therapist in the room. "Ethan's right, babe. You've always been sensitive about stuff like this." There's that word again, always. Gaslighting is effective because it weaponizes history. It takes real traits and twists them until you start doubting your own intentions. I walked away feeling like a villain for even asking. And that was the goal. When gaslighting doesn't work on its own, manipulators go tribal. They build a chorus to harmonize the narrative. One Sunday after brunch, I tried to bring it up to my parents, not as an accusation, just an observation. "I feel like Aubrey and Ethan are a little too close." My mom blinked. My dad froze mid-coffee sip. Then came the defensive wall. "Oh, honey, Aubrey has always adored Ethan. She sees him like a brother. You're being insecure. Aubrey would never hurt you. She's your sister. She loves you." Notice the shift. I wasn't questioning a situation. I was attacking a relationship they cherished. And just like that, the tribe chose the innocent sunshine sister over the thunderstorm wife. That's the thing about betrayal within family. People side with the person who makes them feel less uncomfortable. And discomfort was my superpower, unfortunately. By month 6 of this phase, I had 2 possible explanations for what was happening. They were messing around. I was genuinely losing my mind. And the sick parts, option number 2, felt more logical. Aubrey and Ethan had built such a convincing narrative that I actually started Googling things like, "Signs you are paranoid for no reason. Am I overthinking my marriage? Do sisters get close to husbands?" Spoiler, no one is Googling that shit in a healthy relationship. That's when I realized the truth about gaslighting. It's not designed to protect the lie, it's designed to destroy the witness. But the thing about lies is they can't survive contact with reality. And reality came crashing in on a random Tuesday at 11:42 a.m. when I walked into the house and found the smoking gun that proved I wasn't crazy after all. Because right before I caught them in my bed, I found something even worse. Something that made me realize they didn't just cheat, they planned it. There's a moment right before your life breaks where time moves stupidly slow. Like the universe wants you to fully absorb the horror, instead of just ripping off the band-aid for me. That moment showed up on a random Tuesday at 11:42 a.m. I was supposed to be out of town. Corporate retreat, mandatory, boring. The universe, however, had different plans. The hotel had a fire alarm malfunction at dawn, and the entire retreat got evacuated. Trip canceled. Work from home for the rest of the week. I didn't text Ethan because I wanted to surprise him. Sweet wife points, right? Plus I was craving normalcy. I missed him. Missed us. Funny how betrayal weaponizes nostalgia. I stopped for coffee, got his favorite sandwich, and drove home with music blasting. Windows down. Vibes good. Literally seconds away from the most catastrophic emotional car crash of my life. I pulled into the driveway and instantly froze. Aubrey's car was there, parked crooked like she rushed. My brain did gymnastics. Maybe she needed something. Maybe they planned lunch. Maybe suspicion sounds logical until you have context. With no context, it sounds like paranoia. That's how betrayal hides. It makes the victim gaslight themselves. I turned off the engine. My heart had switched from curious to alarmed. To not full fear, just a wrong feeling prickling up my neck. The house was silent when I walked up. Not normal silent. Living things make noise, TVs, footsteps, humming. This silence was manufactured, chosen, intentional. My hand hovered on the doorknob. When metal feels cold in summer, that's your body telling you to run. I opened the door anyway. Shoes by the door. Ethan's sneakers, Aubrey's sandals, the nude ones she only wore when she shaved her legs, jacket on the banister, purse tipped over, lipstick uncapped. The living room smelled like vanilla and sweat, not a combo you associate with sisters. My bag slid off my shoulder, hitting the floor with a soft thud. I didn't say a word. Words felt too small for the moment. I walked down the hallway like I was moving through water. Heavy, slow, muffled. Every step came with a new sensory betrayal. The faint rustling, the bed frame creaking, the muffled laughter that wasn't laughter. I paused outside the bedroom. The door wasn't fully closed. It was cracked, like a scene from an HBO show that no one had consented to star in. Most cheating stories go straight to the reveal, but mine had a pre-reveal twist that broke the psychological fourth wall. On the floor outside the bedroom was Aubrey's journal. Not hidden, not tucked, forgotten, open. The universe literally offers me a spoiler. The page wasn't about Ethan. It was about me. E is finally seeing who I really am. She's too uptight for him. He deserves someone who understands him better. My throat closed. There it was, written proof of intent. Not lust, not passion. Strategy. They hadn't just accidentally fallen into bed. They'd been building a narrative where I was the problem. I picked up the journal. My hands were steady. Too steady. That scared me more than shaking would have. Then I heard Ethan's voice, breathless Aubrey's voice, whiny and pleased. That was enough. I pushed the door open. No dramatic scream. No boot kick. Just a simple push, like I was entering a meeting I was late for. Time didn't slow, it stopped. There they were in my bed. My sheets, my pillowcases, my marriage. Ethan looked up, first eyes wide, frozen mid-act. Guilt doesn't look sexy, it looks pathetic. Aubrey scrambled like a raccoon caught stealing trash. For 3 full seconds no one spoke. The humiliation was loud enough. Then Aubrey launched into the classic, "It's not what it looks like. Sweetheart, you were naked on top of my husband. Unless we're filming for National Geographic, it's exactly what it looks like." Most people imagine screaming, crying, throwing things, but betrayal can freeze emotion into something sharper. I didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't even blink. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera, hit record. That's when Ethan snapped out of shock. "Turn that off. Don't do that. Babe, please. Babe, the audacity honestly deserves an award, dog." grabbed the blankets, trying to hide behind moral cowardice. It just happened. We didn't mean to lie. Number 47 of this saga. Betrayal is never spontaneous. It's rehearsed. I walked backward out of the room, still recording, and they followed, begging, bargaining, backpedaling. Ethan grabbed my arm. I stepped back. He wasn't allowed to touch me anymore. I didn't say a single word until we reached the hallway. Then I looked dead at him and said, "Get out." 2 words, nuclear-grade. He didn't argue because guilt robs people of conviction. He and Aubrey scrambled for clothes, shoes, dignity. One of those items didn't make it. They left, and I sat in my car in the driveway, replayed the footage, and realized the truth. My family wouldn't believe a word of what happened without proof. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Catching them in bed wasn't the betrayal that broke me. It was what I discovered after on Ethan's laptop that proved Aubrey hadn't just stolen my husband. She'd been stealing my entire life. I sat in my car for what felt like eternity, laptop open, hands hovering over the keyboard, the footage from the bedroom replayed on loop. Every frame was perfect. Ethan's desperation, Aubrey, fake tears, the entire family dynamic obliterated in 30 seconds of high-definition proof. But here's the thing. I didn't want anger. I wanted precision. Revenge isn't about screaming, it's about weaponized truth. I started typing. To everyone in my family and friends who thought they knew me, I have a story to share. A story about trust, betrayal, and deceit from the 2 people I trusted most. My husband Ethan and my sister Aubrey. I paused. This wasn't just a post. This was a legal, psychological, social, and moral news. Every word mattered. Every punctuation mark was a bullet. I tagged Ethan, Aubrey, mom, dad, in-laws, friends, their pastor, everyone who ever had a front row seat in my life. Then came the BAFTA. I wrote everything, the slow build of their betrayal, the gaslighting, the stolen lingerie, the lies, the innocent sleepovers, the bedroom discovery uncut, raw, replayed in narrative form. The journal entry, proof of intent. Each paragraph ended with a tiny hook, a micro cliffhanger designed to make every comment, every scroll, land like a punch. I reread it once, twice, thrilled in a perverse way. This post wasn't vindictive, it was surgical. Finally, my thumb hovered over post. My hand shook. One click would change every family dynamic, ruin reputations, destroy illusions, and maybe, just maybe, make them feel a fraction of the humiliation I felt. I exhaled and clicked. Silence. Then. Notifications exploded like gunfire. First, confusion. Friends from college, work, my book club all tagging me, asking if I was okay. Then, shock. Ethan's friends, Aubrey's friends, people I barely knew, commenting WTF and oh my god, I can't believe this. Then, chaos. Comments piling up, notifications flashing like a slot machine. Ethan sighed, defensive, embarrassed, humiliated. Aubrey sighed, gasping and typing, let me explain, into a vortex of ridicule. Mom called first, screaming, take it down. You're ruining the family image. Dad followed. You can't do this, honey. Aubrey is your sister. I laughed, a little bitter, a little exhausted. Aubrey tried messaging me, sobbing emojis everywhere, begging for a private conversation. I wasn't in the business of whispering to liars anymore. The best part, Ethan's friends were merciless. Comments like, bro, your wife just demolished your life in 2 minutes. This is next level savage. Respect? I can't believe you let her do that. Every comment felt like a victory lap. Every notification ping was a tiny explosion of justice. And then it spread. Local groups, alumni boards, work contacts, even the pastor's Facebook page got wind of it. People were sharing screenshots like memes. People were gossiping. People were talking. Jobs started feeling awkward for Ethan. He had to answer calls he couldn't dodge. Aubrey's college internship supervisor slid into my DMs, asking if the rumors were true. It was glorious. Not because I wanted to hurt them, well, maybe a little, but because they had to face the consequences of their actions. They had weaponized my love, my trust, my life. Now the world was holding the mirror. I didn't stay glued to the feed for long. I watched enough to see Ethan was crying in a car while his phone buzzed non-stop. Aubrey deleting her profile, in shame. Mom and dad screaming at each other, unsure how to contain their social embarrassment. And me, I sat back, ate my leftover sandwich, felt the rush of adrenaline, the vindication, and the quiet, simmering satisfaction that comes from knowing you didn't just survive betrayal, you turned it into power. Within 24 hours, Ethan blocked me. Too late for apologies, Aubrey called, then texted, then emailed, all attempts ignored. Friends from both our circles slid into my DMs, half to support, half to witness the drama. The post had consequences I couldn't fully predict. Careers impacted, social circles fractured, reputations cracked. But it also had consequences I wanted: empowerment, clarity, and a reminder that I was the only one in control of my story. But here's the kicker. Just when I thought I had one, when the posts had gone viral, when Ethan and Aubrey were spiraling life threw me a final curveball. Because the fallout didn't just touch them, it touched me down. And what I discovered in the following weeks would make me question every choice I'd ever made, and lead me to a decision that no one, not even my therapist, could have predicted. If Section 4 was the grenade, Section 5 is the cleanup, watching the pieces fall, the smoke settle, and realizing who survived and who didn't. Within a week of the post going viral, Ethan's mask completely slipped. He called me from his mom's house, voice trembling. "Please, can we talk privately?" I messed up. I laughed. Not out of cruelty, just disbelief. Messing up. He had systematically betrayed, lied, and gaslit me for months. Messing up felt like calling a hurricane a light drizzle. Lawyers got involved. I didn't fight for money. I fought for proof that what happened mattered. Even tried to hide assets, but public shaming had consequences. Banks flagged suspicious accounts. His friends turned cold. He lost credibility, not just in my eyes, but across every social circle we shared. The divorce was finalized within 9 months. Clean, documented, and every lie accounted for. The only thing left to sort was the emotional wreckage, my family, mom and dad. I went no contact. They were too busy protecting Aubrey to see their own daughter's life unravel in real time. My betrayal to them wasn't real. My crime was exposing their favoritism. They chose Aubrey, fine, but I wasn't going to sit there silently while they enabled treachery. Friends, surprisingly, many rallied to me. People had seen the post, read the proof, and felt the injustice. Their support was a lifeline, validation that I wasn't insane, that my instincts weren't broken. At Aubrey, well, Aubrey lost everything. Her fake sunshine persona, college internship revoked, social friends blocked. No one trusted the girl who betrayed her sister for a man she swore she loved his family. Kama didn't hesitate. Ethan and Aubrey did attempt a rebound, secretly meeting in a small apartment he rented on the outskirts of town. But betrayal built on lies never lasts. Within months, Ethan couldn't pay rent. He had no job prospects, reputation shredded from the Facebook viral post. Aubrey realized he was broke. He had nothing to offer her but a house of cards built on lies. They broke up quietly, bitterly, and publicly. Aubrey tried claiming she learned a lot. Friends laughed. Ethan tried explaining himself. Strangers roasted him online. By the end of the year, they were both ghosted, socially, professionally, and emotionally. The people they thought would forgive them didn't. And the people who knew the truth, they stayed loyal to me. And me, I thrived harder than I could have imagined. I traveled solo. The kind of trips I'd always dreamed of but postponed for marriage. I started a small online business, made my first 6 figures, and never had to ask Ethan for a dime again. Friends who had once doubted my paranoia became lifelong allies. And yes, I eventually found someone who treated me like I deserved. Loyal, loving, and scandal-free. But the best part, I never had to speak to Aubrey or Ethan again. Every interaction was gone, every trace of toxicity erased. Facebook didn't just give me revenge, it gave me freedom. Time doesn't heal all wounds, but it does sharpen clarity. Looking back, here's what I realized. Trust is a weapon. If someone abuses it, it's on them. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's people who respect you. My chosen family became stronger than the one I was born into. Revenge isn't ugly when it's righteous. It can be precise, cathartic, and liberating if done with intent. Social media is a scalpel, not a sword. It lets truth cut cleanly through lies. I occasionally scroll past old posts, the screenshots, the video clips, the comments, still gives me chills. Not because I'm vindictive, because truth has power. And once you wield it, there's no going back. I heard through the grapevine, years later, Aubrey tried to reconcile with Mom. Mom said, "I can't look at you the same way. You destroyed what little trust was left." Ethan tried to date again, but credibility matters. No one trusted him with honesty or heart. He eventually moved states, ghosted, quietly faded from everyone's feeds. Meanwhile, I was living exactly the life I wanted. Travel, career, friends, love. No toxic energy, no betrayal looming over me, no shade left to dodge. I even had a good laugh at the irony. The sister who was supposed to be my twin soul ended up a stranger in my story. So here's the question I leave you with. If you were in my shoes, standing in that driveway, knowing everything, with proof burning in your hands, would you have posted it publicly or kept it private? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know. Could you watch them manipulate and gaslight you, knowing everyone else might take their side? Or would you quietly cut them out, hoping life delivers its own justice? Sometimes the hardest choice is the one that feels wrong, but is actually the only path to freedom. Because at the end of the day, revenge isn't about being cruel, it's about taking back your life. And that, my friends, is exactly what I did.